All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Mind Over Matter podcast. So, this is episode 70. This is marking actually something monumental for the podcast. I will get into it, but for the last and final time, I would like to launch the Mind Over Matter podcast intro. See you on the other side. So, all right, welcome back. Episode 70. It's obviously different than what you normally see. Um, Things have changed a lot in my life. We'll go through that, and then I also got some little things to talk about here. It's going to be a completely new format. Now I have to pick topics to talk about because there will be solo episodes. This marks one of the first solo episodes, and I'm honestly extremely excited to get into it. So we'll see you there. All right. All right. So, again, welcome back. So, recently, about 2 weeks ago, I moved into my new place. You may have seen my other channel. I'm not going to link it because after after I record this episode, I will be linking that into this and my whole brand for the Mind Over Matter. We're changing it up over here. We're going to directly hit veterans. If you know any veterans, link them this show. Literally copy and paste it to them. Link them our website. So it will be here, up there, up here somewhere, and suicide.us. And yeah, so I'm gonna just go through what happened and let you guys know what we got in the future. So, like I said, I moved. I am starting solo podcast, and I figured I would start a new channel. Once I started the new channel, it wasn't too hard to keep up with. I could do that and also do the podcast, but kind of realized that I wanted to combine them together and do one big overall mission. And that overall mission, as you guys know, is to help veteran suicide. So I'm tailoring all of my effort into that right now. I got back into school recently last week. We're in school again. We're going for the doctorate in psychology. That will be happening. That is happening. I will be a doctor. And yeah, so until I get to that point and become a doctor, I am going to be doing these videos about what I learned in school, kind of teaching you guys more psychology. Because of course, if I teach it, it's easier to learn, as everybody knows. So if I have to teach it, I learn it better. And honestly, the information is good for everybody. I'm giving the college perspective. I'm giving the right perspective of all the college information. So some of these books are awfully biased, as some of you may know. They're trying to indoctrinate a lot of people, um, and I just want to give kind of the right look on psychology for as far as I know, and the more modern age. The people we've caught up to what the indoctrination is, the propaganda through bovid, and now everybody's kind of on this page. Give me 1 second here. Let me turn my notifications off. Not sure if y'all heard that. But yeah, we've caught up to the government scams and all of that. And so I want to give the unbiased version of what I learned in school, as well as what I learned throughout school and my past learning, all in hopes to help end veteran suicide. So chances are this channel will be named to Diary of a Faithful Chad. That's what my other channel was named. I'm not sure how I'm going to go about it. I do want to brand it towards veterans, so I want them to know that this is a podcast and channel for them. We'll see what happens. I'm not too sure again on how I'm going to do that. It could change names, could not. I'm honestly, I'm not too sure. After this video, I will be finding out. So maybe you guys will find out at the end of this video, or you'll see it at the YouTube channel when you stop by. Um, yeah, give me a break here. These first two episodes being solo on this, I am doing something completely new. I don't do them solo. This is weird talking to myself. I did start, so that's how I started my last video. I did start the podcast. The idea came from video journals. I started video journaling. Then I kind of realized, other people could listen to this. And the reason I started video journaling was because I couldn't find therapy. And that's a big problem within the veteran community and going through the VA. Now, you can't go, a community care network, I want to call. I want to say that's what it is. What is that? What? Y'all see that? Community care network is what it's called for the veterans out there going through the VA, so that you can get more care outside of the VA. The VA pays for all the therapy, and you could get it once a week. And for my problem was the VA was backed up. I didn't know about this opportunity, and it was a little too late for me to use it to its full advantage. I became better on my own, but I still use it to this day. And now I just like it more. You're outside of the VA system. You're outside of the government system, and it's a lot nicer. I like my therapist a lot more. You could change therapists easier than you could in the VA, and yeah. So I started video journals and realized, people could benefit from hearing what I have to say, and I have to speak to somebody. So whether it's myself or whether it's you guys, right now it's myself. I'm talking to you guys, but I'm alone in this room, and it brought me joy going back and listening to it about every week, every other week. I'd listen to what I had throughout the week, and it's very beneficial, I want to say, to me and to you guys. So again, welcome to the new channel. Thank you for supporting Mind Over Matter all this way. I'll leave some of the merch up there, just for the nostalgic feel, if you will. And yeah, I'm gonna just let it rip, and I'm not gonna constantly rip. If you're a Theo Von fan, it's gonna be more towards that. Joe Rogan doesn't do them alone, so I can't tailor it towards that. But it is gonna be kind of a more open conversation, and I'm gonna just go off of my notes here. Sorry if I fiddle with it, but that's what happens. So the production here, it has changed as well. I'm using this microphone until I get a table here and set up my main microphone. I'm also waiting on my Ethernet in this new house to work. So right now we're going off of this bad boy, and I am actually very pleased with how this sounds. So let me know how you guys think it sounds in the comments. I'll fix it up and do all that fun stuff. But this episode, we're gonna be talking about a lot. It's all tailored towards how you can get better and how I view things on how I got better. So there's multiple things I did to get better. It didn't happen overnight. Over the course of some time, I racked up all these mindset tips kind of, and now I think the way I am, and I would say I'm living a more peaceful life. So all the veterans out there looking for peace, just kind of tune in here, and I'm excited to help you out. So we'll start off with the first thing. So when I first got out of the military, I was in that victim mindset. And honestly, I was in that mindset for about 8 months. I went through my divorce, thought it was my fault. And I was like, how could this happen to me? And I went through the med board situation, which is medically discharged from the Army. I didn't know I was going to do that. Was planning to do the Army for 20 years. I'm glad I didn't. Found a new purpose. We'll get to that. But it all happened at the same time, and it was a why me, why me, why me mentality. And I want to say everyone will get there. I believe everyone becomes a victim at some point, and we just all have to pull ourselves out of it. How quick you pull yourself out of it is the difference between how miserable you live versus how peaceful you live. It took me about a year and some change to pull out of that victim mentality. Um, you really do have to drag yourself out of it. The number one thing that helped me was realizing I wasn't alone. I don't know why. It was just always why me? Why me? How could this happen to me? And it was like a selfish way of viewing it. I viewed it like I was the only one that ever had these problems, and I'm not, and I wasn't. And now I've really realized that I want to help people with that problem. So that's kind of, where it all stemmed. And during that time, I thought really poorly of myself. I never thought I'd be divorced, so thinking of myself as a divorcee was tough. I thought everything was ruined, didn't think I'd ever get married again. I thought I was just on my own for the rest of my life. I thought it was all my fault. I thought of what women would think of me for being a man who's divorced, and all that. It's not a big deal. And all of that, what I was thinking about myself, hindered how great I could be. And you will only be as great as you believe you will be or you can be. Michael Jordan thought from the rip that he was going to be the greatest ever, and he ended up becoming the greatest ever. It's a mindset. So I believed I was doomed for life, and I was doomed for life for that year and a half. If I kept that mentality, I would have been doomed for life. So it's switching your mindset to realizing, look, you're human too. Faith helped me out with this as well. And one of my core beliefs before I ran into faith and religion, or whatever you want to call it, spirituality, one of my core beliefs that I got from my grandmother was everything happened for a reason. And it does. Everything, if you believe that, you that's what I believe. You don't have to believe it. I believed it because it got me through a lot. And if you if you get that mentality, if you start believing in that, you start learning the lessons on everything that's happened to you. You start thinking of everything as a lesson. And maybe not everything is a lesson. Maybe some things in life are just that, just some things in life. But switching to the mentality of everything is a lesson definitely helped me become as great as I can be. I learned from it, started learning from it, and now I'm here and as happy as I ever been. Which brings me to the next thing I want to talk about is you'll never make everyone happy. I I think I learned this, not I think, I know I learned this growing up. My mom said it quite a bit because I had three other siblings, and she couldn't make all four of us happy at once. And she taught us you can't make everybody happy. There will never be a time where I make everybody happy. And that could be on the hockey team, playing hockey, and I score a goal. Everyone should be happy. I scored a goal for the team. Some will be upset because I didn't pass them the puck. Some will be upset that I got the third goal instead of them getting one. It could be anything. You cannot make everybody happy. And if you strive for this your whole life, man, if you strive to make everybody happy your whole life, you'll never be happy. You're serving everyone else. And that, there's a sense of selfishness that comes with that. And if you're a veteran, you know, that's one of the words we live by is selflessness, selfless service. So that was my mentality. I was always for everybody else. I was always trying to help everybody else out. And that changed recently with my therapist. I talked to him about it, and I was always trying to help my family. When I got out, it was instead of focusing on them through the army, I started focusing them on in real life, and I wasn't progressing because it was always focusing on them. And I missed 4.5 years of their life, really. So I came back and I spent all my time with them, and I never worked on myself. And now I'm just, whatever's going on in my body, now I'm pushing all that on my family, or on my body, in my mind. I'm pushing that all on my family. So you may as well make yourself happy. There's one thing you can do, it's make yourself happy. You're not going to make everybody else happy. We've established that. So why am I working towards that? I should be working towards making myself happy. And the happier I am, the happier everyone around me is. If people in my family see me being happy and me succeeding and me going to church and me eating right and me going to the gym, they're going to start following my footsteps. They're going to see, wow, he's so happy. He's living the life that he's dreaming of. I want to do that. And they'll start following footsteps, and that happened with my dad. He saw me going to the gym, saw me eating right, and now he's lost 40, 50, 60 pounds because he saw it through me. And it wasn't me trying to help him out. I helped myself, and he realized it, and now he's starting to help himself. So just keep it in mind. You'll never make everyone else happy. You could be grinding for that for years and years, and you'll simply never get there. And you only stray further from what makes you happy. But you kind of have to lay out what makes you happy. And happy is a weird word to use. Like, people ask you, are you happy in life? That's a hard question to answer. What really is happy? Everybody's version of happiness is different. So I did have to lay out a bit what I thought happiness was and how I thought of happiness, what would make me the most satisfied in my life. Or did money make me happy? No, is the answer to that, but that's a question you should ask. Money did not make me happy, still really doesn't. It's nice you have to live with some money, but assuming you have some disability from the VA, you should be happy enough to focus on yourself. Yeah. Now, this one's a weird one to say as a person trying to help you out, but we keep it real. And I wanted to point this out. My roommate's been struggling with it a little bit, and I struggled with it for years. I was looking for answers from others for way too long. I thought everything could be solved through this approval from others and this acceptance from others. And all these answers, how I felt was always answered by everybody else. If I drank, I didn't ask myself if I should be drinking. I was asking other people if I should be drinking. And the bottom line is it comes down to me. You need to turn to yourself for those answers. You can't, I could YouTube everything for 150 hours, watch every Jordan Peterson video, every Andrew Huberman video. But at the end of the day, the answer comes down to me. And that sense of individuality really brought me a lot of peace. I started making, and it's hard, I started making my own decisions, started believing I was responsible for everything. And I think that's why a lot of people turn towards other people for these answers, because you're not responsible if it's the wrong answer. Oh, well, Joe Rogan said I should do it, so I've been doing it. Well, that's wrong. Oh, Joe Rogan said, I was just following Joe Rogan. You know, you need to be really searching for your own answers. And it will take a while to get to that point. That took me a little bit of time, but you could start somewhere, and better than starting never. You know, I was looking for so many answers from other people that it wasn't fulfilling. That's the right word. It didn't fulfill me because everybody else gave me the answers. Now I'm not thinking on my own at all. You need to be thinking on your own. Should you be doing this? Do you believe it's your belief system? Do you believe you should be doing this? Do you believe that masturbation is a good thing for you? If you do, have at it. But if you go on Instagram, Twitter, Google, YouTube, anything, you're going to find, that's how the algorithm works. You're going to find the answer you're looking for. Whatever your bias is, you're going to find that answer. If you believe it's good for you, you're going to find that it's good for you. If you believe it's bad for you, you're going to find that it's bad for you. You need to make the decision. We're so reliant on technology and the internet and all the answers we can find on there, and you never create your own answers, ever, because everything's online. You don't have to, but that takes away that sense of individuality, and you're not living your life. You're living in this body through other people, what they think you should be doing, and it's a recipe for failure. I'll tell you that. Take a second here and just relax. I can't wait to have some people in the chat and doing these live. Yeah, this one is going to be different. I don't have the background or anything, so a little weird. We'll give everybody a second, take their notes or relax or whatever it is. Don't want to drop too many keys at once. It's what happens when you go to like a conference or something. I went to a conference and I wrote so many notes down, but I really only learned one or two things. And that's what everybody says too. Like, you're not going to learn all of these things that I'm telling you, but one thing will stick out and one thing you'll start throwing into your routine. And maybe you come back to the video and learn a second thing. But in person, I can't go back to that conference. I mean, I could, but you know. Take out the Zen and Gino. Also getting back into hockey here. So going to a community college just for some extra credits, some psychology credits. And next, I just got accepted to USF, so I will be playing hockey there. Contacted the president, and now that I'm talking about it, I need to contact the coach as well because that didn't work. So very excited to get back into one of my hobbies. Also, as you see, I got a guitar here. I'm not the best at it, completely brand new, but we're letting it rip. Yeah, we're letting it rip. I'm thinking I'm gonna make my own intro. If you guys got somebody to make an intro, cool with that too, but I'm gonna make my own intro and probably my own vocals, write my own song, and go from there. Kind of a Patrick David thing, but my own voice. Maybe a voice changer. Maybe I use a voice changer, something like that. But rebranding everything's very exciting. I'm very excited to take you guys all along on this journey. I really think it's gonna be. This is the start of something new. After, I don't know Steven Ferg, the owner of the Honor Guard Coffee, my sponsor. We were talking, and he was saying that after 2 years, that's really where the podcast finds its ground, finds its like bottom line, really, I guess, their branding and everything. So it does feel like I'm finding exactly what I want to do. And honestly, if you guys don't know what to do, just start. Just think of a name, type up a logo. You go to Fiverr and pay $30 for a logo and $30 for an intro, and now you kind of got something more professional. That's where I started. And then now I'm here where I'm creating everything myself and really finding what I want to do and what I want to be when I grow up. So definitely advise you to start doing things on your own. But yeah, we're gonna let it rip. We're going back, baby. Sorry. Those are my hobbies. Got the American flags on here too. I was gonna throw the unit logo on there, but I don't know how the unit would feel about that. So what I was just talking about, just starting, this is the hardest part. Hands down the hardest part. You're gonna run into a lot of trials, but officially starting starts to make it gives you a commitment to yourself. When I said I was gonna create a podcast and I started it, I had to follow through. The zero, if you think 0 to 100%, the 0 to 1% is the hardest anybody could ever go through. If you think of a old hat or a new habit you want to form, the hardest thing is just pulling the trigger and actually doing it. And I witnessed that firsthand so many times now. Just pull the trigger, 0 to 1, just do it. As Nike says, just pull the trigger, do it. It's always has been the hardest thing to do. It's nothing new. And you think about, it's watching a good old Joe Rogan. I forgot the guy that was on it. It was a psychologist. And of course, they were talking about monkeys and chimps and our ancestors and all that. And I started to think about it. They were talking about 6 million years ago, 9 million years ago, 3 million years ago. When you really think about our civilization, it was such a gradual increase until technology, until the internet. Once we got the internet, that's when everything started shooting up a little more. But if you think about it, to get us to where we were before the internet took so many years. It did not happen overnight. And now civilization, I mean, I personally believe it's the best it's ever been. And if anybody wants to debate that, I'd love to hop on a podcast and debate that, because we are in the best scenario we could possibly be for anybody in civilization. We take it for granted. Like I was saying, we could hop on the internet and ask anything to anybody at any time. You could not do that a while ago. I mean, how many years ago? 50 years ago? 50 years ago, it was all different. But you think, and then you go back 100 years. It's just a gradual increase, and anything you do, it's going to be a gradual increase, and that's kind of hard to deal with. You want to happen overnight, and we're so used to the instant gratification from online or whatever it is. Even looking up an answer, you look up an answer on the internet and you get it right away. We get that instant feedback, instant answer. And that's honestly not how podcasting works. If you're looking for podcasting, you're looking for a mission, you're trying to find your new purpose as a veteran, not how it works, fam. You are going to have to work at this for the rest of your life. It's no longer wake up and turn wrenches, or what is it, road guard, run a mile. It's no longer that. Everything is now on you. You need to take the discipline, take the motivation, take everything you learned from the army or the military, and now put it towards yourself. That was my hardest thing. I was so disciplined in the army. I woke up every day, the right time, got to work, did my workout, showered, worked all day, grind all day, and I did my work every single day. I was disciplined. And I got home, enjoyed myself, woke up the next day, did it again. I became so disciplined, and that's the good thing from the army, good trait from the army that you get. But now you have to put it towards yourself, and it's much different because you were doing it for others. Most people join the military to do it for others. That's what I did. I did it for my family. I didn't have any other options really, so a part of it was for myself. But when I was in, it was all for my family. I knew when I was overseas, it's for my family. Find that again. You have to search for that again. What could you do now for your family or for anybody? And now I'm thinking about my future family, my girlfriend, whatever it is. I think of my future family. I think about what I need to do now to have the future family that I want to have. This thing. Oh no. We'll hold it up a little bit. Yeah, we'll hold it up. Um, yeah, yeah, it's hard to transition out of the military. My goal is to help you through that transition. I'm starting a community. The link will be in the description. That forces me to start this community. Um, and I'm excited to help y'all out through your journey of getting better and finding something new to do. Like I said, it is so hard. Finding the new purpose is so hard, especially like me or even the people that been in 20 years. I couldn't imagine being in the military 20 years, retiring, getting out at, it would have been 39 for me, and then having to find something new all over again. Oh, Lord. Couldn't imagine. 4.5 years was enough, and then I had to find a whole new purpose. And very excited to be where I'm at now, but I'm even more excited to help you guys get where you guys want to go. And again, link in the description for the community. It's just going to be a Discord server for now. I got some things in the background I'm kind of working on for a better community, but for now it's going to be a Discord community. I'll throw probably some lessons, some YouTube videos or something like that in the channel for you, and you can kind of go through step by step so you have something to go through to better yourself. I'll give you some action steps. It's all coming. This is all a new idea, but it's all going to happen. I'm rebranding everything, like I said, and I'm tailoring it towards helping veterans for sure now. I was a little lazy with it with the mind over matter this last episode. I'm glad to end this chapter because this next chapter is going to be so incredible. And you'll get that mindset about the veteran and getting out. You should have that mindset. If you don't have that mindset, start thinking about it like that. You got so much more life left in you, and there's so many more things to do than serve the government and the military. And I mean, you're gonna wake up so much, and I want to give you some hope because there is so much hope out there when you get out. There's so many things you could do. The military sets you up with so many things you could do. You go to college, you go become a business owner. You have this disability you get every month. There's that was the problem with me. I could do anything. That was my problem. I knew I could do anything. So now I have all these options I got to run through on what I want to do and what I want to be. But at the end of the day, you got to choose one thing. If you're I don't know if I said this last, yeah, I think I said this in my first vlog, but that you have to pick one thing and go all in. If you're not all in on it, you're not going to be the best. You're not going to be where you want to be. And that was Michael Jordan's thing. Michael Jordan was about one thing and one thing only, and it was winning championships and beating records. That's what he was about. The man wanted to be the best basketball player to ever live. That's what every day he woke up thinking. A little mindset shift. Try to think of what you can do that would make you fulfilled, make you feel fulfilled, and do that every single day. Every single day. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Asking advice. Like I said, you're always looking for answers. You're trying to find the right answers. And you may be asking the wrong people for advice. I was asking my parents for advice for a long time, and they're not exactly who I want to be when I grow up. What they're living like, that's not exactly how I want to live. So I'm asking the advice from the person that I'm not living like, the person I don't want to live like. No, I'm not dogging my parents or anything. They live a fantastic life, extremely successful. They've had 4 children that are top-notch kids, all striving towards success and becoming the best they can be. So my parents are amazingly successful, but they're not necessarily living the life that I want to live. I mean, if I'm trying to learn what to eat, what diet to go on, I'm not going to go ask the obese person at Walmart, right? That'd be silly. Apply that to everything else. Apply that to family you want to create. I'm going to go talk to the person with 4 kids, but I want 8 to 10. I'm going to go talk to the person with 8 to 10 kids. It's going to be harder to find, of course, but that's what I'm going to do. You're trying to find the people that you want to be like and ask them questions. If you got to pay for it, go pay for it. Go find out because this is your dream. This is what you want your life to be. Go pay for it. If you got to pay for it, pay for it. Who cares? But now you found another piece of your life that you want to be like. And that's honestly, that's where the world is. You pay people to learn their expertise and learn what they've learned. You learn what someone is. You learn from the person who is living like you want to live. Quit asking advice from people who don't know what you want to be. don't have anything in common with, asking the wrong people. Then I started doing their things. I'm like, this isn't what I want to be. This is worse than what I was before because this isn't what I want to be either. And now I've wasted time and asked the wrong people. Now I'm pissed at them because they gave me the answer and it's not my answer. So now all over the place. And now this last one, I'm excited to talk about this last one. Got the loafers on today, the Hey Dudes. Big fan of these shoes. Not sponsored, but big fan of these shoes. So I came across this because I have been in the dating scene. I've talked to plenty of women. I've talked to my mom about it now too. And my first relationship, my ex-wife, had a fair bit of trauma growing up. So now that I'm looking for a new person and a new potential wife, when they have a lot of trauma as well, I get a little scared. But what I've come to realize, and I talked to my mom about it, because my mom had a pretty tough childhood as well. She grew up, her father died at 14, 15. Brothers were going through it. The stepdad that ended up coming in after her father started beating my grandmother, and she lived a tough life. And now my dad, on the other hand, did not. I did not live a tough life myself either. My dad had both parents, and kind of lived a pretty normal life for the time, for the era. And what me and my mom talked about is the person you have to look for is the person that recognizes their trauma, and the trauma might not be the end all be all. Like I said, I got scared because this new person had some trauma, but when you really think about it and you look at the statistics, there's more families divorced than ever before. There's less children being made, so less siblings than ever before. We have more trauma than ever before. We got less dads in the house, less moms in the house, single parent households. So there's going to be even more trauma than ever before. You have to find the person that is willing to work with their trauma and understands their trauma. It's going to be there for pretty much everybody. Everybody's got a little bit of it, and that's kind of, you go into the whole thing of everybody's kind of virtue signaling their trauma because it's cool to have anxiety and depression now. But we all have it. We all have a little bit of it, and severe or not. I only have a little bit. And not to compare that to anybody else, but the person I'm with has a little more, and that's what it's going to be like. That's why I'm scared, because I don't have as much as a lot of other people have. So now I'm a little more scared because I'm scared of what's going to happen because of their trauma. I'm scared how they react. Have they dealt with it already? But one thing I can say as the man and the person who's a little older is to help guide someone through that. So it's more important now than ever to address your trauma because you need to help other people with it. I addressed mine, and now I can help so many other people through it because everybody has it now, and we're acknowledging it more now than we ever have. World War II, the vets came home, started drinking. It was kind of acceptable then to smack and beat your wife, beat your children, the belt with the children. It's Vietnam, we're getting a little bit out of it, and people didn't like Vietnam. Now Vietnam vets aren't really addressing theirs. They were a bit, but they were more alone. They were kind of judged for it, all of that stuff. And now we're in a time where everybody's addressing their trauma, and it's on the leaders to help address it with them. Leaders being the men, and leaders being, veterans. You have a lot of trauma. You've been, even going through basic training is weird and it's tough, and you get out and now you're like, I learned all this stuff and they changed the whole person of who I was, and now I'm this person and it's completely different than who I want to be on the inside. Now you got to change everything back, and now you're stuck in limbo trying to fix that. But once you learn how to deal with it, now you can help everybody else, and you can't be scared. You can't be scared of other people's trauma. You really look at it, everybody has a little bit of trauma. That's just how it is. It's just how it is. And I think there's not enough grace around that topic. That's why so many people are divorced and everything. What are we at, a 50% divorce rate within the military, at least? I don't know what it is outside, but I think it's higher in the military. Of course, it's gonna be higher, but I don't know. I don't know the numbers. I forgot the numbers, but now more than ever, it's more. We gotta address the trauma. We gotta start getting into it. We gotta be willing to live with it and be willing to accept other people's trauma. That was a little tough when I got home from the army. Nobody lived through what I lived through, so I can't. I mean, I wasn't able to explain it well, and now they can't help me out well because they don't know about it. And even if they did know about it, how could they help? Because they never lived through it. But there are little things for everybody. Having faith is a thing everybody should have. I learned faith. I gained and grew in my faith, and now that's a tip I tell everybody. So I don't know. I do know all of that. Not to be cocky or arrogant, but I do know all of that. That's what I know. Excited again. That's kind of all I got. Shorter podcast, 35 minutes here, but that's all I have for this. Wanted to bring more up, but I didn't really want to bring more up. I was excited to do a solo pod. Definitely different. The links will be right here for everything. The website. I still have the shop open, the merch open, but again, all of that is going to start to change. I might take it all down for a month and revamp it. So if that happens, be aware. Believe it's going to be Diary of a Faithful Chad or Diaries of a Faithful Chad. I'm not sure. I don't want to narrow it down to just men, but that's the majority of people who watch YouTube anyways. And if that's how it is, so be it. I just want to help people out. Again, the Discord link is going to be below. I'm going to revamp the Mind Over Matter one we have and start trying to get some engagement in there. Because honestly, as we all know, community saves all. Without community, we are nobodies. And that was just that Joe Rogan episode. The first action that we had to take for community was throwing stones. Throwing changed everything. When we learned how to throw, there's a little add-on to the pod. When we learned how to throw, it started changing things from an individual goal to community goals. So one dude's getting attacked by lions. One dude getting attacked by lion needs the help of 49 others. When we learn how to throw, now it's a community goal to keep the lion out so nobody gets attacked. Just, I don't know. That was a fun thing I learned from that psychology podcast. But check out the sponsor below. Incredible Coffee. He was just telling me more about it. He now gets, there's a new batch every month that he gets. So it switches up. He still has his core ones on there, the main ones on there. But, that doesn't really, I don't gain much from that. That's another man who's on the same mission as I am. He pairs veterans with service dogs. That's what he does for a living. And his little coffee thing is on the side, and he's helping people out through that. His episode will be below as well, of course. But he went through quite a bit, and our missions aligned so well. So it was a no-brainer. I don't need any money. We're both on the same path. We're both on the same mission to help you all out and help veterans out. And I think it's a great mission to support if you're a coffee drinker. I tried it. I love the coffee. I was just a typical Walmart black coffee guy, but I didn't know coffee could be that good, honestly, until I had his, and then I started exploring the taste of coffee. So I do highly recommend it. It's a little more expensive, of course, but I want to say it's 25 or 50% of the proceeds go towards helping veterans connect with a service dog to help them keep their life. So with that being said, I'm not sure we're running outros yet, but perhaps we will. I am going to put music with this whole podcast. Please let me know what you think about that if you made it to here. If you have made it to here, like, comment, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. But definitely let me know what you think of the music that I play throughout this whole thing. I think it adds a nice little ambiance to the pod. So, again, very excited for this next journey. I hope y'all learned something from this podcast. I'm excited to get some guests on again. It's just been a little slow because I was moving, and if you guys want to be a guest, I'll leave that link below too. You go on our website to become a guest, and Yeah, I will catch you all on the next podcast. Hopefully, we got some more. Hopefully, it's built out a little more, and I believe it will be. I am going to be working on that throughout the week, and I got some things in mind throughout the week to help out with what I want it to look like. So, thank you all for tuning in. Again, thank you for being a supporter of me and my show. Uh, I couldn't be more excited to help some veterans out. So I'll catch you all in the next episode.